Welcome back to another episode of Paranormal Bad Bitches. Brianna
and Lydia.
Today we are going over some Reddit stories, and we don't have any listener write-ins, so if you guys want to write in your own story, please let us know. I would love to read some of your guys' experiences. Anyway, first story. Weird experiences. Any advice? I have been having some weird problems where I live, and I don't know anything about the paranormal stuff or where to start, so I thought I would share my experience and see if anyone has any sort of answers for me. I have lived in Idaho for about 5 years, and I have never had any weird happenings, besides these last couple months. For some backstory, I have lived with 5 people, my parents and my 3 younger siblings.
we gotta keep that in there.
Why did it just fall? Am I really that ugly? For those of you who are not watching the YouTube or TikTok, my mic just drooped away from my mouth.
Which means you should go watch our YouTube and our TikTok because you guys are missing out.
Yep. I agree. All right, so I don't even know where I left off. I have lived in Idaho for about 5 years, and I have never had any weird happenings besides. Oh, it just fell. What the fuck?
I think it's funny because you saw it fall and you kept talking and you're like, oh.
There you go. Where you going, little buddy?
Back here.
My mouth's up here. That's what she said. I have lived in Idaho for about 5 years, and I have never had any weird happenings besides the last couple months. For some backstory, I live with 5 people, my parents and my 3 younger siblings. I often stay up late because I have shitty sleep schedule, and I usually spend my nights playing The Sims on my laptop in bed. Doesn't that just fucking hit home?
Bro, it really does.
Get the motherload cheat code,
yeah.
Fucking become a billionaire on The Sims. I often leave my window open a crack just to get cool breeze in my room. My window is directly to my right next to my bed. About 2 months ago, I was with... Oh, I have gunk in my throat and it's not coming up. Oh, this is turning into a disaster.
Because you're not a quitter.
Yes, I am.
Really?
Yeah. I did when I was first trying to impress Brenner. But now I'm just like, nah, you're married. I'm spitting this shit out.
Like, you're stuck with me now.
About 2 months ago was the first weird thing that happened. I was laying in bed playing on my laptop when I heard a shriek come from outside. I immediately froze. In about 5 seconds of being paralyzed with fear, I came into my senses and I realized it was probably just my husky chasing some raccoons. Where we live, we have a lot of foxes and raccoons. I tried to ignore what I heard, but I started to get really anxious, so I went downstairs, and once I was downstairs, I saw my dog just looking at the doggy door. And he was frozen there. When I went up to him, he started growling. This definitely freaked me out a lot, but it was 4 a.m. and I knew my mom would be up in an hour, which helped me feel more at ease. I'm kind of an idiot, if I must be honest, because I was dying to look outside to see what the sound was, and even more now so because my dog's reaction. I ended up walking to the back door and turning the backyard light on before opening the door. The light isn't very bright, but it's better than nothing, so I couldn't see much. I scanned my surroundings before seeing something underneath my siblings' trampoline. I didn't want to step outside, so all I could do was squint and try to get a better look, and it looked like there was someone under the trampoline hunched over, kind of just sitting there. I called out asking who was there, and thinking it was just a boy that my sister had over was trying to sneak in or out of her room. I got no response for a few seconds before I heard crying from under the trampoline. At that point, I was terrified. I was thinking there was some kind of crazy person outside. I closed the door and locked every door and window in the house, also covering the doggy door. I sat on the couch facing the door until my mother came downstairs. When I finally heard her coming downstairs, I told her everything that had happened, and she went and looked outside, and she came to tell me that there was probably somebody outside, or it was one of my sister's friends, and that you scared them off. I accepted what she said and left it at that, but 2 weeks later, I started hearing loud knocking on my window. Whenever it happens, I immediately lay down and pretend to sleep, or I will go to sleep in my mom's room out of fear. And I have never looked at my window. When I hear the knocking, fear just paralyzes me. I learned my lesson with opening the door out of curiosity. As I said before, though, my room is the second floor and my window faces into the backyard. My brother's room is in a separate building in the backyard, and he also has claimed to hear loud banging on the door. This happens at random, and I still have no idea what it could be. I am losing sleep and becoming more and more worried. Does anyone have any sort of advice for me? Feel free to ask questions.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Coming from me, my dad, I could not sleep in my own room in our childhood home when my sister, because I'm a quadruplet. So my sister and I shared a room for a really long time. But when we started getting older, we wanted our own room. And when I got the room to myself, I got the master room. Yeah. I was lucky. I had 3 closets, makeup table, my own bathroom, and a giant room.
Damn.
Yeah. And it was really nice. Except you can ask Charlie. I will put my life on it. Okay. I saw a little girl in the back closet. So when I got the room to myself, I never slept up there for 6 months. I slept downstairs on the couch next to my dad in the living room. My dad didn't have a room. He slept on the couch in the living room because he wanted to make sure all of his kids had rooms first. Because I have 2 older siblings as well.
Yeah.
So we had 6 kids and then my dad. Nice. I definitely think you should tell your parents, because if you're starting to lose sleep over that and like you're so scared that you're like panicked, like I feel like they would help a little bit, if not try to do something about it.
Yeah, I'd probably like react because when I was little, me and my brothers decided to be like, oh, we're gonna set up the tent in our backyard and sleep in it. So my brothers like brought everything out for I don't even know what time it was, but I just remember waking up and I saw the shadow like out of the window because like we had like the window zippers open, and I just remember going inside and crying to my parents that there was someone out in the backyard. So my dad took a flashlight. He walked around our house and like our 2 neighbors, they saw nothing. And then he made my brothers come inside. And for the past like 3 months, I slept on the floor by my parents' bed because I could not sleep alone.
Oh my god. I'll sleep next to you, boo.
I'm okay with that.
As long as you're okay with being the little spoon. Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that. Like this kind of story. I think all my experiences have always been inside the house, which is why I don't like doing investigations outside.
Like that makes sense.
Yeah, I just feel like there's so many like factors to like an outside investigation that can interfere with the devices that we use that I just don't trust it. And like now that I semi-believe in this shit, like this shit changes everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I'm skeptical like to go to like a road or anything, because like there could be so many like wild animals that like make steps on like branches or anything.
Yeah, I'm just excited for next year. We're gonna do so much more. Like I hope everyone sticks around for that, because like we're gonna have so many like well-known locations and like investigations, and like unfortunately Lydia probably won't be able to make it to most of them because she's still in school and stuff, and we'll miss her, but I'll probably FaceTime her. We'll have her included somehow. We'll make it work.
All right, guys, I'm going to school to be a paramedic.
She's gonna save lives.
Yeah.
While I'm talking to the ones that she can't.
That was a good. I just was not expecting that.
Sorry. My intrusive thought one. So, my siblings and so I'm a quadruplet. So, when we had people over, like, it was, I mean, shit, like 8 people at a time, because 4 kids with 1 friend of each, like, that's 8 people. Like, we'd always play, like, flashlight tag. And, basically, how that turned out was I was in all black, shocker, and I was hiding inside of a pine tree. Like, I buried myself in the tree. And I could have sworn that I was about to be found because I heard footsteps walking past me and, like, kind of walking up to me. And they didn't find me for, like, 20, 30 minutes later. So I to this day, and, like, there was no light, so I thought maybe someone else was trying to hide, which probably was, like, the actual case. But it was, like, 10 minutes after we started playing. So to this day, I don't know who it was outside the tree, but they couldn't find me. Like, when I came out, they were, like, shook that I was right in front of them. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because you've seen the house I grew up in. The one on the cousin street of yours.
Yeah.
The house with a giant Christmas tree, basically, to the left.
Oh, you were hiding in that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, the thing. Oh.
Fun fact, her cousin grew up on the same street as me, and I never knew it. And now we're best friends.
Woot
Small world.
Very small world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like just because of that, it just reminds me of like hide and clap.
Oh, we should play that.
No,
we should at like some haunted location.
No.
500 subscribers or 1,000, 2,000 followers on TikTok. We'll make it harder because I know Lydia don't want to do it. We'll play hide and clap at the Velisca house or the Sally house. You decide. 2,000 followers on TikTok, and we'll play hide and clap at either the Velisca or Sally house, and you guys can decide which house you want us to play at. I think that's a good one.